Hello, everybody. Can you see and hear me now? How do we look? How do we look? Do we look great? Looks great. Okay. Can everybody hear me? Test. Audio test. Check 1 2. Can you hear me? Yes. All right. Thank you, Michael, for clarifying that. Appreciate that. Holy cow. For um so sorry for the trouble, you guys. I am debuting a new software. As you can see, it looks completely different right here than just a normal camera, kind of like we did on the last stream. The goal is to make it a little bit more interactive. As you can see, we added the chat over here. We're gonna have some really cool elements. We're featuring latest subscribers over here. So as we have new subs, that'll change. And then we have our latest donations featured right here. So Zach H, thank you for your most recent donation. And as those roll in on our live stream, these are going to update in real time for us to be able to celebrate together. Holy cow. I appreciate everybody who hung out. Hopefully you guys found the stream okay. I put the new link in the Discord. I put the new link on the community channel as well. Deleted the other. I think I still need to delete the other stream. So let me do that real quick before everybody heads over there and we get really confused. Yeah, let's delete that. Delete. Okay. Perfect. Okay. How's everybody doing? How are we doing? Does it look good? Does the setup look okay? Is it a little bit more visually appealing to everybody? What do we think? Awesome. So this is going to be pretty interactive. I've got some things planned for us today. Thank you, Michael. I've got some things planned for us today. D2 everything is all right. The logo's not good enough. The setup's not good enough. Come on. I'm trying my best with the lack of skill that I had. Everything up to this point is completely self-taught. So I'm trying to figure it out. So I appreciate you guys. Soon you can. I know isn't that crazy? We're already coming up on 12,000. So over here on my side, I actually have a live subscriber count, and it's 11,958. I'm gonna have this going. I'm gonna have this off screen here, and if I see it like keep ticking up, then I'm gonna throw it on the screen so we can celebrate it together. That's super cool. So guys, we did it. Now, what happened? The reason that we are at 12,000 and we're just now doing the 10,000 subscriber party is I shared in the last couple videos. I don't know if you guys remember, but I was traveling for about a month. I was in Charlotte, North Carolina for about a week for work. Very cool event. My company actually hosted an event at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and we hosted it in the room where all the simulators were. So we got to drive the actual like simulators that the race car drivers train in. That was cool, and we raced against each other. And yeah, the car is not actually moving, but the way that they've got the hydraulics and everything, it feels very real, and you get a sense for what going 200 something miles an hour feels like. It was really cool. It was very humid. It was pretty disgustingly hot out there over on the East Coast. Then I came back for a couple days, and then we went to Illinois for a few weeks. And the reason that I couldn't do this from Illinois is because where my in-laws live, they live out on 12 acres in the middle of nowhere. They literally have no internet and no cell phone signal. So they have internet. It's like dial-up, and I couldn't bring my PC with me. but even their cell phone signal is like really, really, really weak. So I can't even hotspot off my phone. So for me to continue working, I had to find a temp office space like 30 minutes away to continue working. Crazy, crazy. But I'm back. We're good to go. Later today, I didn't do a video last night, but later today I'm going to be uploading Outlier by Snarky Puppy, which was super fun. What a song. No, I already did Outlier. What's next on the chopping block? Next up is, yeah, because we already did Outlier, right? Did I already, tell me in the chat, did I already launch Outlier, you guys? I cannot seem to remember. Okay, I did do Outlier. Perfect. So next up, I'm working on today is going to be, hold on, I'm loading up my projects right now. So actually later today, I'm going to be taking us back. We're going to do a D2. That's going to be the next Snarky Puppy song. Yeah. And I think I mentioned that at the end of the Outlier video. But the song that I'm going to drop today is going to be a throwback to an artist we started with, but I haven't done in a while. And it's a song of his that was pretty popular that I have not done. And so later today, I'm going to be uploading 7 Sins by Ren. That one was very interesting, very much a different type of musical style and kind of a blend of a lot of different musical styles I noticed in that video. Drop a thumbs up if you've actually seen that or heard that song, 7 Sins by Ren. Michael and Aditsu, thank you. More people, chat, talk. Let's do this. Let's do an icebreaker. Let me know where you are streaming from. What part of the world are you streaming from right now? Everybody drop that in the comments. And if you're watching this after the fact, drop it in the comments. I think I've enabled it so that if you watch this later, you can still. Germany. Nice. Germany is on the list for us to go visit. I think I told you guys we're trying to plan a big Europe trip right now for next year, and that's actually one of the questions that came through during, so I'll get to that in the Q&A. All right, so we got Michael's in Germany, Anna is in Ohio, Aditsu, Mino Zeta, I think I'm saying that right, Finland, Terry, the UK, I'll assume Terry you're in the UK. Good afternoon. HK. What's HK? I don't know what HK is. It's not coming to me. Hong Kong. Cool. Thank you. Oh, so it's late. Well, thanks for hanging out with us at stinking midnight. Is it midnight? Did I get the time right over there? Midnight 30? So here's what I'd like to do, guys. Oh, okay. So now, cool. Perfect. Interesting. In Japan, do you guys typically do what we would refer to as military time like that? Is that a common practice for you? Now I'm just curious. So here's what today is going to look like. I know we're 26 minutes in. We started 15 minutes late because of all the technical issues. However, here's what we're going to do. I want to say hello. I want to say thank you. I've done that. Thank you for 10,000 subscribers. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story of how Tech Reacts actually started. And then we're going to do, I have some Q&A of questions that people submitted. Sweden checking in. Thanks, Anders. I got some Q&A. I'll answer those questions. I've also got some trivia. Some trivia's coming up, some interactive polls. And then at the end of this thing, we're going to be giving something away. We're going to be giving away something of monetary value. Yes, something that transcends country and continental borders, that can be used internationally wherever it is. So if you like money, stick around till the end, and I'll show you guys how you can win that cash. Also, you'll see some prompts later on in the chat to join our Discord server. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and do that. I also put down in the bottom here ways to support the channel. If it's something that you'd like to get behind, we have Buy Me a Coffee here on the far your left, and then we've got Patreon right there. Links are in the description of this, and it's also on our main page. Be grateful for that. As you can see, we featured Zach H here was our most recent donation. So if you donate during the stream, I'll feature your name up here, and then we've got our most recent subscriber right there, and I'm watching the subscribers as well. Awesome. Hello everybody. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump in. I want to tell you about how Tech React started. So is it Melly? Did I say that right? From Norway, Melly? Tech React. So for years and years and years, I have absolutely loved watching reaction videos. And I typically watched a couple of people. I watched a gentleman named Crypt, and I'll actually throw his link if you guys have never heard of Crypt. I'll throw his link in here. Crypt is a rapper, but he does some great reactions. So let me go ahead and throw his. Okay, so that is that's the page for Crypt. I usually watch him, and I usually watch the Charismatic Voice, are generally the two that I watch. I used to watch a guy named Laid Back as well, Laid Back BFR, and obviously I was watching reactions to things that I had already seen before. I think I've been exposed to a couple of artists through reaction channels in the past, but I had this love for just seeing somebody else enjoy something that I love for the very, very first time. And I figured, man, there's a lot of music that I don't know that I would love to watch. And when I'm talking to my friends about music, we always go like pretty deep on the music. We talk about theory, we talk about what the music means, all the things that are in some of my reactions that you guys have seen. A lot of what you're seeing is really just what transpires in real life when I'm listening to new music with friends, or when I listen to new music and then we talk about it afterwards. So I'm just videotaping what was already happening in real life, right? That's how we feel when we see people react to Nightwish. I know. Later on, I'm going to ask you guys a question of how you got to the channel. So save that for later. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get it started. I had a Podunk laptop, right? I in the early days of Tech React, the videos were not great. The audio was terrible. I'm still kind of fine tuning some things, but I just like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to launch. We're going to go out there, and see. And then like, lo and behold, I think we hit like 1,000 subscribers within 48 hours. And then it got to 3,000 within a month. It got to 5,000 within 45 days. And it's been like bombastic ever since. It's slowed down a little bit because I haven't really introduced a ton of new artists. Now, when I dropped the Dimash video, the first Dimash video, which I think was SOS, that was actually scheduled to release when I was traveling, like I mentioned earlier. And I hadn't really looked at any of my YouTube stuff since I, again, didn't have internet out at the house. But I was also trying to focus on family. My wife's grandfather is very sick, so we were spending some time with him and, you know, seeing people that we haven't seen in a couple of years. So when I got back to Illinois, I looked up and before I left, I think we were at like 9,500, and then when I got back, we were at over 11,000. I was like, holy jeez. And most of that was from the Dimash video. So welcome to all the deers who have joined us recently. Appreciate you guys very, very much. But that's, I mean, that's it. It's not a huge story, but that's how it started. I just decided to go ahead and just launch with what I had, and then you guys have come alongside, those of you who do support the channel and have donated and support monthly. Like, you guys made all this possible, like this setup, you know, the hopefully the quality of the videos and the audio have gone up. My ability to put more videos out, which I'm still working on finding a good schedule for myself, the PC, all that stuff, man. You guys have just been so incredible. So let's do this. I want to have some fun. I want to get some interaction going. So I will need y'all to get your fingers warm, because you're going to need to type. You're going to need to type, okay? So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to switch scenes. We're going to switch scenes. Let me know if this works. I'm debuting it for the first time. So here we go. We're going to switch scenes, and you should see me in a little box down here, and then the screen, my other screen bigger. So let me know in the chat if you guys can see this new scene right here. Can I get a thumbs up? Can I get emojis? Can I get a yes? Can I get a woot woot? Can I get a whatever you want to type in there? Andre says yes. Perfect. So here we go. This is question number 1. We're going to softball it. We're going to softball the questions up a little bit, okay? And I'm going to give, let's see, I'm going to give 10 to 15 seconds for each question. Pittsburgh, go Steelers, baby. Right here. See it? See it? I'm so excited for preseason football next month. I am stoked. It's probably going to be the first year that I actually buy Sunday tickets so I can watch every Steelers game. So here we go. First question. Layup. What was the first artist you saw on Tech Reacts? Type it in the chat. I'll give you 20 to 30 seconds. And while you do that, I'll tell you how it started if you haven't been around for a while. So the very, very first video that we did was Falling in Reverse's Watch the World Burn. Now, the reason I did that video is because as I was watching these other reactions, this video kept popping up, and I didn't click on it on purpose because I noticed that the views were high, that the comments were high, the commentary on social media about it was so high, even though it had been out for a couple years at the time. And I was like, man, honestly, it was kind of like a marketing thing. I was like, if I were to launch the channel now with just whatever I have, this would be the video to launch it with. So I launched it with Falling in Reverse, Watch the World Burn. I think I did a couple of other Falling in Reverse tunes, and then we did High Ren was the first new artist that we did was Ren. So I'm seeing Ren, I'm seeing Nightwish. Anna said Ren, okay. Nightwish, Aurora, yes, Dimash. Awesome. Okay. First artist you saw on Tech Reacts. I'll tell you something. The first artist that I ever watched a reaction video for was a rapper named NF. When his new album, or when his new EP launched, Clouds, I was fascinated with his song that he did with Tech Nine called Trust, and it blew me away, and I wanted to see what everyone else's reactions were, because I knew that reaction videos were a thing, but I hadn't really watched many of them, or I hadn't watched any of them actually at the time. I just knew that they were a thing. So I found Crypt through the NF reaction to Trust. And then I went down this rabbit hole of like watching 50 different reactors react to Trust. And it was a mix of people who were NF fans that had never heard of Tech Nine. It was people who were fans of Tech Nine that had never heard of NF and were like, can you keep up? So that was the first reaction video that I watched, was Crypt reacting to Trust by NF featuring Tech Nine. I agree, NF is dope. My daughter and I just saw him in Dallas a couple months ago, and it was actually at the beginning of this month. No, it was June 1st. And it was incredible, man. One of the coolest things. Okay, next question. What new artists have you discovered through Tech Reacts? Has anybody discovered a new artist that they had not either had an appreciation for or that they had never heard of before through the Tech Reacts channel? Would love to hear your feedback on that. Has anybody discovered a new artist through the channel? I don't believe that nobody has not discovered a new artist. I just don't believe that. Snarky Puppy, awesome. Dimash, Snarky, awesome. Okay, okay. Snarky Puppy, perfect. Okay. That would kind of make sense, I guess, right? They seem to be, I don't want to use like popular as a thing, but out of all the artists, I mean, they seem to be not as mainstream, not as present on, like Ren isn't mainstream, but he's very present on social media. Dude, so here's the thing with Sleep Token. I have already heard all of their stuff and I love it. I probably listen to their albums full through at least once a month. And I love the music. So if and when they release new music, that is when I can do an authentic Sleep Token reaction. But I do love me some Sleep Token. And actually, I got to give a shout out to my brother on this. My little brother, who is in our Discord, I shouted him out maybe a couple weeks ago. He joined the Discord. He's actually the one that exposed me to Sleep Token, because when I went up to visit him, actually when I traveled up to Illinois for his wedding, I was best man in his wedding. We were driving around going to lunch or something, and he had this music playing, and actually the song that he had on was The Summoning, was the first song that I heard. And for him, he was just listening to it, but he was singing all the words. He knew it all. And for me, I was like, whoa, this is wild. And then, you know, it changes at the end to kind of like this funk tune. And I'm like, these guys play every genre on this album. Who is this? And he's like, oh, it's a band called Sleep Token, blah, blah, blah. So that's when I started listening, was about maybe like a year ago, over a year ago, maybe. Yeah, he just celebrated his 1 year anniversary. So a little over a year ago is when I started listening to Sleep Token. So when they come out with new music, we will do full album run throughs of it for sure. Okay, next question. I don't remember which order these are in, so I'm gonna, let's see. Here we go. Here's a debate. Hit you guys with a debate. Does pineapple belong on pizza? Yes or no? And since we have a lot of different countries represented here, are there some countries that treat this? Is there any cultural relevance to pineapple on or off pizza? I see no. TJ's never had it on pizza. Highly recommended, my friend. I'm a yes to this question. I do love me some pineapple on pizza, especially if you like pineapple, right? I don't know if you guys can see like that moderation thing going on. I think that's an automated thing, and I think it picked up on the exclamation points. So I don't know how to change that, so I apologize for that. So let's see. Anna says no. Michael says yes. Aditsu says God no. TJ's never had it. Anna, no, with a lot of O's. Flor Jansen says no. No. Blah 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 blah. Yes, it does. I'm Swedish. Here it's okay. Pizza Hawaii is very popular. Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. So I know that. Now, what about Italy? What about where pizza was practically invented? Is it a thing? I don't know if anybody here is from Italy, but does anybody like know those cultural norms? I'm gonna say yes. I absolutely love it. I used to in high school. I used to deliver for Domino's Pizza. I don't know if Domino's is international, but they're big in the U.S. And so I used to make the pizzas, cut them up, put them, all the things. And that was the first time that I'd ever tried pineapple on pizza on a Hawaiian. It was exactly what you see in the picture. It was pineapple and Canadian bacon, or as we call it in the U.S., ham. Um, and I remember like the warm. I'd never had like hot pineapple juice, and that's basically what it is. Is it just like explodes pineapple juice, and it's hot. And I was like, ooh, this is really, really, really good. So there's like the salty of the ham. Now, I don't like pineapple by itself. It's got to be with another salty meat, and pepperoni's not going to cut it. So for me, the pineapple only belongs on the pizza if it's with ham. Uh, you are welcome to stay or go. Hopefully you know more about me now to not judge me off of my preference of pizza. Now here's another debate. This one's going to get you guys. I look, and there was something in the news recently about like some guy almost dying from this, because actually the Supreme Court weighed in on this. This is pretty wild. Are boneless wings really wings, or are they just chicken nuggets? What's the verdict here? This is a hotly contested debate, you guys. This is pretty hot. Pretty hot. Where are we at on this? Are boneless wings, which again don't have any bones, really wings? They don't come from the wing part of the chicken, or just chicken nuggets? And do you guys even have boneless wings in your countries, or you just have wings? Not everybody at once. Hold up. Unless you guys are really like thinking through these answers. Okay, Anna says they're just nuggets. Terry says they're just nuggets. So far, they're both. Anders, how are they both? That's my question, because they actually don't come from the wing part of a chicken or the leg part. They come from the abdomen because it's all white meat. You see, wings, traditional wings are all dark meat. Boneless wings are white meat. So how are they wings? Boneless wings. Never ate boneless wings. Aren't nuggets made of chicken? Yes, and that's exactly what I was saying. Boneless wings for me are chicken nuggets because they're made of chicken breast. They're not dark meat like wings. No, they don't. Isn't it crazy? It's a marketing thing. Now, here's where the Supreme Court ruled on this. So lately there was a case, I think here in the U.S., where a guy at a restaurant, they didn't say which one, ordered boneless wings, and one of the boneless wings came with a bone in it. So if you ever eat boneless wings, sometimes you'll bite it. For depending on how big it is, you just put the whole thing in your mouth and swallow it. Now, how he missed the bone, I don't know, but apparently the bone got lodged into his throat, and he had to have surgery to get it out. So he sued the place because he ordered boneless wings. The Supreme Court ruled that he should have known better, that the guy should have known better, that he should have been aware enough to know that boneless wings doesn't always mean there's no bones in them. That's weird. The Supreme Court said that. The U.S. Supreme Court, which is really, really, really funky. Now I get it. I thought you meant wings with bones removed. Oh, yeah. So that picture right there is boneless wings. It's basically a big chicken nugget with more breading on it. So I'm going to say they are just big chicken nuggets. Okay, let's move on. Here's one. This might be the layup question. I think we're past the icebreaker stage, and now we're going to get into the actual trivia questions. Right, for real. Yeah. Trivia. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, this one's a layup, softball, but I need everybody to type it in the chat. What instrument do I play? Everybody should know this. It's on every video. Anders, drums, 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 and keyboard. Yes, I do play drums. It's my primary instrument. Now, yes, computer keyboard. I'll get to that later. I've been playing some great games on PC that have been rocking my world recently, which is a question somebody asked for the Q&A. So, actually, check this out. I originally, and I think I shared this on the last stream, somebody asked how I started playing drums. The first instrument I ever played in a school band was a trumpet. And I played for like 3 months, and I came home crying, and my mom asked me why. I said, because I want to play the drums. And she said, okay, let's go play the drums. But everybody was picking the drums, and I didn't want to be like everybody else, so I picked the trumpet. They needed more help. There weren't enough trumpet players, so I played trumpet for like 3 months. This is back in 5th grade. And then I played drums. Now, I went to school for music education. Now, what that means is you have to take what's called fundamentals classes. So you have to take piano fundamentals, string fundamentals, woodwind fundamentals, so on and so forth. So I had to learn how to play. All through college, I had to learn how to play every instrument, every major instrument that would make up either an orchestra or a wind symphony. Ironically, the hardest instrument for me to play was the flute. And I'll tell you why. With brass instruments, if you guys have ever played brass instruments, all the tubing and stuff makes it so that there's resistance whenever you breathe through. So you can control your breath a little bit better. Now with the flute, the air goes in and there's no resistance. It goes right out. So it takes a ton of breath control plus you got to blow across the hole and not down into the hole. Which is hard to do on its own. And don't even get me started on the piccolo, where the hole is like the size of a BB. But immense breath control for flute players. So I did have to play everything, but I would say that obviously I'm mostly proficient on drums. I didn't really start playing drum set seriously until I was in college. I played a little bit of drum set in jazz band in high school. But then in college is when I started playing drum set primarily. Not primarily, but like introduced it more. Before that, it was mostly, somebody said it actually correctly, it was in a percussion. I was more of a percussionist. Played all kinds of instruments. And in college, my primary instrument was actually mallet percussion. So I played mostly marimba, xylophone, played jazz vibes for a while. Xylophone, got to fly out of Southern Illinois to do a live recording for Iowa State, which I can share. I'll find that recording somewhere on xylophone because their person couldn't get it, and we had just done the premiere recording of the specific symphony, and then Iowa State was recording it, so I flew out there to actually play the xylophone piece for them. I'll see if I can find that. Somebody remind me later. But yeah, mostly 4-mallet marimba, 4-mallet xylophone, and then after I left college, I didn't really have a need to play percussion anymore. I haven't played percussion since college. I still have my giant stick bag with all the mallets and everything in it, but haven't played any percussion since then, other than drum set and maybe some hand drums, bongos, conga. I have a oh no, I'm blanking on it. What's the box? I'm blanking on the instrument that I play. What's it called? The box. It's a box. It's Spanish for box. What's Spanish for box? Oh no. Cajon. Thank you. Yes, I have a cajon. Yes, I have a Meinl cajon that I use for like smaller worship sets. Smaller. I used to play with a cover band as well back in St. Louis that would do just little birthday gigs for wealthy people, and and all I played on was a cajon. I had a pedal hooked up to it, so I got a little bit of a bass sound to it. But that's it. My drum set was a cajon during those shows, and it was easy. $200 a pop for 2 hours playing the cajon. Pretty easy. Okay, next trivia question. I played Downfall of Paris for Percussion Fundamentals Final. Anna, I don't know what that is. I'm not resonating with what that. Now, it's been, I left college in 2009. So it's been a long time. Is this a newer piece, or is it an older piece that I'm just unfamiliar with? And since you're busting out pieces, maybe I'll bust this. Oh, I don't know if I'm familiar with that. Or I may have heard it and I'm just not recognizing the name. Since you are busting out names, for my audition into college, I performed Bach's Violin Concerto in A minor, all 3 movements, on a xylophone. So all the violin parts were on a xylophone, and I had a piano accompaniment. So I did a conservatory recital for that, and I just used that piece, and I had it memorized, which impressed my college the most because I showed up to audition for the college and I didn't have music. I just played the whole thing, and the percussion instructor came around and was like, "Where's your music?" I was like, "It's in my head." He's like, "Okay, keep playing." So I kept playing. I got till halfway. I played the first movement, played the second movement, which is slower, played the third movement. He's like, "Okay, I get it. You've memorized all 3 movements. Great job. Let's move on to your next piece." So I didn't even get to finish the third movement, of which was like actually the hardest part of the whole thing. So let's see. How do you do He just says, how do you do slides? Okay, Aditya's got a sense of humor, I can tell. I'm going to answer that. Slides are easy. You just slide your mallets across. So typically you hit, so if you're going from like a C to C, you would hit a C and you would slide and you would hit the other C maybe an octave or 2 up. Legatos you can't do unless you have soft mallets and you're rolling on them very softly. It's easier to do it on a marimba. Typically don't write legato pieces for such a staccato instrument. Anna played it on violin. It is a fun piece. Bum, bum, dun, 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 dun. I still know it. Holy crap. I wonder if I could play it on xylophone. But for college, I did one of my like pre-graduation juries on a 4-mallet marimba piece called Polaris, which at the time was like one of the most difficult pieces, and it took me, gosh, months and months to really get it down. But I ended up playing it, got an A on Polaris. Very, very cool. All right, guys, next trivia question. Maybe a layup, if anybody's paid attention to me talking about my family. How many kids do I have? How many kids do I have? If you don't know and you want to guess, that's okay too. That's totally okay. Anna says 3. 2 or 3. Anders says 2. Terry says you have 3. Steve says 3. It's true. I have 3 children as of last year. So that's my daughter Ziva. She is 12. That's my son Ezekiel. He just turned 8. Ziva just turned 12 last month. Ezekiel's 8, and this is Oliver. He is coming up on being he is 8 months old. He will be 9 months old here in about a week or 2. And he was our newest addition. Funny story, I was supposed to get a vasectomy in 2020, in April of 2020. Obviously that didn't happen because the whole world shut down. Moved to Texas, whole thing. Boom, surprise. Here we go. I ended up getting a vasectomy last year to make sure that this didn't happen again, although I love all my children, and Oliver's a blessing to our family. And that's my smoking hot wife, Ashley. We have been married. This October will be our 15-year anniversary. All right, here we go. More trivia. What is Matt's favorite food? This is information I have not shared in any video. So now I'm curious what the answers are going to be. What is my favorite food? There is, well, There's a tie for second place, but there's definitely a first place answer. Nice guess, Anders. Because of the question earlier, that is not correct. But I do love meat. Pizza. So I said that there was a tie for second. Pizza is one of the two tied for second place. Pizza, steak, Hawaiian pizza. Aditsu, is there a specific type of steak do you think I like over the other? Just out of curiosity. Any other guesses? Pizza is probably a safe choice. Because who doesn't like pizza? Except, actually, I'm going to tell my daughter. My daughter does not like marinara or pizza sauce. So the only pizza that she eats is something like a chicken bacon ranch, like something with Alfredo sauce or with no sauce. So when we go to a pizza place, she gets pizza without sauce. It's crazy. Aditsu gets it. My favorite food is a medium rare, reverse seared ribeye with garlic butter and rosemary. I took this picture. This is exactly how I like my steak. Yeah. The reverse sear is the way to go. If you don't know how to do a reverse sear, it'll change your life, especially if you like your steak medium to medium rare, which is the only way to eat a steak. Well done is just beef jerky. But if you don't know how to do it, what you do is you set your oven to 200 degrees. It's very low for an oven. You set your oven to 200 degrees. You do nothing. You season your steak how you want it. Marinate it overnight if you want to. You put it on a rack over a pan so that the drippings fall into the pan in the oven at 200 until the internal temperature hits 105 degrees. You also have in the oven a cast iron skillet with either olive oil or avocado oil. I don't eat vegetable oil, canola, anything like that. It's very inflammatory food. I have arthritis. I don't eat it. So I only use olive oil or avocado oil. And so at the same time, you have a cast iron skillet in the oven getting hot. You take the cast iron out. You put it on the stovetop. You put it on high heat. You wait till the steak gets to 105 degrees internal temperature. You take that steak, you stick it on the cast iron skillet for 60 to 90 seconds on each side. What that's going to do is get right here what you see. It's gonna make this crust happen on the fat and on the steak while keeping the inside perfectly medium rare. I'm drilling down myself. I gotta make myself a steak. You do that on both sides. You let it rest on your plate, right? So you're only doing 60 to 90 seconds on each side to let the crust hit. You put it on your plate. What I like to do is put like little tiny cuts into it, because when I put the butter on top, I want it to get inside the meat and not just coat the top of it. So I have some little tiny slices, and I let the garlic butter that I've made seep into it. Yeah, that's my favorite food of all time. Okay, here we go. Next question. Now we're getting away from me. We're going to talk about general music trivia. We only got a couple of these. What rock star moonlights as a horror movie writer and director? And have you seen any of this individual's movies? What rock star moonlights as a horror movie writer and director? Anders says Rob Zombie. The answer is Rob Zombie. Yes, the answer is Rob Zombie. So Rob Zombie did, I think it's a House of a Thousand Corpses. He did whatever the one after that was. He's done quite a few, and I've seen all of them. Most of you guys are like, "Oh my God, Matt's a Christian. He's watching horror films." Yes, I watch. There are some horror films I don't watch. If it has anything to do with like being really close to reality, like The Exorcist, or anything spiritual in nature, I do not watch that. This is just over the top blood and gore, movies, right? Like I just went to see Long Legs. It was not good. Long Legs sucked. It was a terrible movie. I've seen all of Rob Zombie's movies, and I've seen all of who did Pulp Fiction? What's the guy? I'm blanking on his name. Who did Pulp Fiction? Help me out in the chat. Who did Pulp Fiction? Who did all the Grindhouse movies? Yes, Quentin Tarantino. Thank you. I've seen all his movies, and the Grindhouse films are kind of, gory as well. But just for the sheer purpose of like being gory. It's just entertainment at that time. It's not really hurting you. But other Christian friends of mine, and my wife, she watches no horror movies whatsoever. Okay, next question. Van Halen famously banned what color M&Ms in their rider? This is a true story. In their contract riders, if they were presented a bowl of M&Ms, it had to be absent this color. Anders, his remakes of Halloween have been great. And the fact that his remake of Halloween he brought back, I'm such a movie buff, and I'm like blanking on everybody's names right now. What's the main lady? What's her name? They brought her back to like close it out. Was the final Halloween movie? Was that Rob Zombie? The answer to the question is brown. He accepted no brown M&Ms, which is weird because they all taste the same. Okay. Next question. That's fair, Aditya. That's fair. Like if they get the brown ones right, everything else they're going to get right. Who was the first band I saw in concert? I don't think I've ever shared this before. But this could get really good. First band I ever saw in concert. Now, maybe I'll help. I'm 38 years old. My first concert was when I was 14 years old. Jamie Lee Curtis. Thank you, Steve. I can't remember her name for a second. Laurie. I don't know who Laurie Strode is. What was the first band Matt saw in concert? Now, maybe another hint. As a 14-year-old child, it is a concert that I should not have been at. But my dad took me because he didn't know what was going to go on stage. Metallica, Rolling Stones. You're in the right era. Rolling Stones is a little before this band, but Metallica good Metallica. I don't like new Metallica, but like OG good Metallica, Master of Puppets style, like that era. Slayer, boy, I wish. Okay, the first band I ever saw in concert was Motley Crue. And there were some things going on that stage that a 14-year-old boy should not have seen. And my dad spent the majority of the concert with his hand over my eyeballs. Okay, next question. What was my all-time favorite concert? All-time favorite concert. I may have said this on a video somewhere, but I wonder if anybody's picked up on it. What was now I've seen, gosh, I grew up in Northern Illinois between Chicago and Milwaukee. So concerts abounded in both. And I spent a lot of time in my teenage years, in my late teens, early 20s, when I went back home for college, summertime, going to a lot of concerts. Milwaukee hosts this festival called Summerfest every year, and it's phenomenal. Then in 2004, I moved to Southern Illinois, 15 minutes away from St. Louis, where again, concerts abound. So I've been to hundreds and hundreds, probably even over 1,000 concerts at this point in my life. of all shapes and sizes, of all genres, of all kinds. I've been to rap concerts, I've been to metal concerts, I've been to symphony orchestra concerts. I've been to everything. But this one was by far my all-time favorite concert. Any guesses? Nobody is guessing a thing. Okay, I'll save you the time. My all-time favorite concert ever in my life was Rush. I got to see Rush in 2006 in St. Louis. Just them, no openers. 3.5 hour show. No breaks, no intermission. Just Rush killing it. Anders, I'm sorry for the long message thing. I need to figure out how to change those settings so that doesn't do that. So I apologize. Please feel free to comment. Okay. Carl Robinson's great concert by YouTube. Yeah, 2006, best concert I've ever seen. Now, follow-up question. What artist have I seen 15 times in concert? It's not Rush, but who I don't think anybody's going to get this. Unless you were on the last live stream, maybe you'll get this one. And I actually doubt if any of you guys even know who this group is. But this is a band that I've seen 15 times. I'll tee it up for you. The very first time I saw them was in 2002 at Summerfest. Then I saw them in 2002 again in Chicago at the Argonne. I think it's the Argonne Theater. They opened for Avenged Sevenfold and Muse. Killer show. In 2000, they released an album called The Second Stage Turbine Blade. In 2002, they released an album called In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3. That's the name of the album. And I think 05 or 06, they released an album called No World for Tomorrow. Other albums include albums such as, what's another one? Year of the Black Rainbow. No guesses. I doubt you guys even know who these guys are, but 15 times in concert, I have seen Coheed and Cambria, and I've loved every concert. It's never gotten boring. So the last time I saw them was right before COVID in the winter of 2019, and it was awesome. So the very first time I saw them was in 2002. I saw them pretty much every year, either in Chicago or St. Louis, up until 2019. Highly recommend look. They are a progressive rock band. Coheed and Cambria, their entire discography is from a graphic novel series called the Amory Wars. So it's all connected. It's all one big story. In fact, Coheed and Cambria are the two main characters, husband and wife, of the story itself. So if you like concept albums, if you like prog rock with a little bit of pop thrown in, warning, in the early days of Coheed and Cambria, Claudio Sanchez has a really high voice, kind of like Geddy Lee and Rush, right? It's a high voice. That's this guy right here. Obviously, it gets deeper as the years go by, as he's aged, but great. I know who they are. Posted a couple of their videos on your Discord. Awesome. Thank you, Steve, for that. Yeah. I love Coheed and Cambria. Great. The only album I did not like is I did not like Year of the Black Rainbow when they had that new drummer for Dillinger Escape Plan on there, and Mick had just left, who was the old bass player. Now we got this guy. That album is terrible, so skip that album altogether. Year of the Black Rainbow, terrible. Okay. Apparently I have another question. What question is this? Nope, this is the giveaway. We're gonna do that later. Let's go back to Let's Chat. Let's hang, folks. Okay, so now we're going to get to a little bit of Q&A, some questions that were asked ahead of time that I want to answer. And then if you have any additional questions, go ahead and drop them down in the chat. I'll answer those. I'll answer those along the way. Again, if you want to support the channel, you can do that down below. Buy me a coffee, Patreon, or you can use the super chat function as well. If you use the super chat function, I think that the name right here actually changes automatically in real time. I think would appreciate that. Again, all that goes towards supporting the channel. None of that goes into my pocket. I have a separate, full transparency. I have a separate account that I throw all this into, and it kind of pays some of the monthly ongoing things, like for this streaming service, for other things that I've got to pay for monthly that I was paying for out of pocket. Now like there's enough coming in every month from you generous supporters where most of that is covered each month, and then some of the one-time purchases like the PC and stuff was fully paid for. I'm so grateful for those of you. I'm also going to be kind of increasing the frequency and the and kind of the things that you get as being a member. I have not done such a good job of like putting out the member only reactions. I haven't done a great job with like the behind the scenes stuff. I'm trying to get better at feeling all this out. So if and when you do become a member, thank you. And then send me some feedback for whatever you might want to see and what would make your membership worthwhile. Be great. So some Q&A that came through was, one of them was a question about my favorite drum fill ever. Now, to not run the risk of copyright strike, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to paste the YouTube video for this song. It's a worship song. It's very gospel in its style, musical style, but not in its vocalization style. The song is called Glorious by a gentleman named BJ Putnam. The drummer is Chris Coleman, who is pretty popular inside and outside of the worship sphere. If you fast forward, if you don't want to listen to the whole song, totally cool, because it's really the outro where this like craziness starts. If you fast forward, and I'll put it here, fast forward to 5:45, and that is the setup into the outro, and then the last like 45 seconds of the song, Chris Coleman is going bananas in this. I want to play it, but I also want this video to stay up in perpetuity, so I'm gonna just avoid any like potential copyrights and just leave it here for you guys to go watch on your own time. But that's probably my favorite, like one of my favorite fills. I mean, he's still grooving, but he's doing all this stuff in between. It's pretty crazy. I had to play this song at one of our previous churches back in St. Louis, and it took me like 2 months just to learn the ending. Another question that came in, and again, if you have a question, drop it in the chat. I'll get there. My goal is to end this in about 15 minutes. I know we started 15 minutes late, but I did have a goal of keeping this 90 minutes, and I don't want that 15-minute interruption to play into your guys' schedule. That video is it might be because like my setup might be a little bit low, so you've got me turned like way up, and I think you had said that you couldn't hear me earlier. So like in comparison, the actual audio of that might be loud. I'll tweak along the way, because I'm going to use this as we continue. So actually, I'm going to give you guys actually I want to show you what future reaction videos are going to look like. It's not fully fleshed out, but here's what it's going to look like. I'm transitioning now. I know what I did. I didn't have the sound source on that because I didn't plan on showing that to you guys. I just showed it to you. I didn't plan on it, so I didn't add the microphone as a sound source. Can you hear me okay now? My apologies for that. But anyway, so that's what it's going to look like. It's going to look like that. And what I was saying is that right now, I'm capturing audio. I'm capturing video from a camera, audio from a microphone, and my screen share software is capturing the screen. And then I'm taking those three sources and trying to line them up perfectly together in my editing software. And I've got to go like frame by frame. So that part gets kind of annoying. And then when I cut and splice and edit, I have to do it to all three. The goal for me is to capture all three at one time. So this software allows me to get the screen, the microphone, and the cam all at once, and I can edit all at once, not line anything up, and it saves me time. Then I can get back to pumping out more videos. But if you also noticed that this up here stays the same. So in future videos, I'm going to feature the most recent donor and the most recent subscriber as well, just to make sure that you guys are getting shout outs. I'm also going to have a portion of each video that highlights and showcases whoever's supporting us on a monthly basis as well. So if you do, your name will be on every video going forward for as long as you support the channel, of course. And then for any one-time supporters, I'm going to make sure that you guys get shout outs via these as well. So another question that came through, Terry, I'll get to yours for sure, was how is the planning going for Europe? It's going well. It's a big undertaking. My wife and I find ourselves in a unique situation where in about 3 months' time, we will be completely debt-free. It's been a big goal of ours for many years. We started this with like $150,000 in debt, and that's cars, credit cards, student loans, or anything you can think of but a mortgage. And our goal was to completely pay it off before we buy a house. We have a down payment for a house saved, and we are currently getting everything wrapped up being debt free. So that's going to be here in a couple months. We will have paid off $150,000 in about 4 years' time, and big weight off our shoulders. And in February, our rental is up at this place that I live now, because we rented when we moved to Texas. So in February, we're going to be without a mortgage payment and without a rent payment. And the original goal was to rent a Class C camper and drive all around the country, because I work remotely and we homeschool our kids, so we're not really tied to a specific area. It was to travel all around the country, but to rent these Class C campers, if anybody can guess, is like $5,000 a month, and it's just not feasible for us. The goal is to just use what we were paying in rent for housing. So it didn't work out. So then Ashley was like, well, what if we go to, Italy for a couple weeks? And I'm looking up Airbnbs. I'm like, holy crap, our dollar goes a long way over there. And you can find Airbnbs kind of wherever you want, So I've been using like ChatGPT and all that stuff to help me fine tune an itinerary. And then it turned into, hey, what if we just go across Europe for 3 to 4 months? Now, I know there's pros and cons. We're weighing all that stuff. There's stuff with work, right? So I got to make sure that I am going to be working, even though I don't work in the local economy. I work for a U.S. company, so I got to make sure I'm following any local labor laws. As of right now, all the countries on our list don't make you get a work visa unless you're going to be there more than 90 days. At the moment, we only plan on spending 2 weeks in each country, with 1 month being in Italy, 2 weeks in 2 different parts. The goal is to start in Portugal when it's cold, February, and then go kind of south into southern Italy. And then by the time we get up to London, Scotland, it's already April, so it's springtime. And then by the time we end the trip in Norway and Sweden, it'll be May, early June, when it's hopefully a little bit warmer. So as of right now, we've only applied for the kids' passports, is all we've done so far. I'm waiting for a yes from my work to make sure that I'm not missing anything on the labor law stuff. The only thing for me is I currently work a very traditional like 8 to 4, 9 to 5 type of shift. over there I'd have to keep up with East Coast hours, which means depending on where we are could mean working like 2 to 9 or 3 to 10 p.m. type of thing. So that'll be a change for me. But as of right now, the dreaming process is very much alive. Now we're just very much in the waiting for answers before we can begin executing on logistics. So but it is more and more looking that it's going to be like a possibility, a 4-month trek across Europe with 2 children and an infant, which should be fun. Okay, Terry asked, "Hey Tech, how do you rate Kai Hato, the drummer of Nightwish and Winter Sun?" I guess it would depend on how you want me to rate him, like 1 to 10, A B C D E F G, A B C D F. If we're going on like 1 to 10, like solid 9 out of 10. I mean, he is a technically proficient drummer. And again, this is just what I've seen with Nightwish. I have not seen any Winter Sun videos yet. I'm holding those for future reactions. But as far as from watching the drum cam video, his you can learn a lot about a drummer's history by watching their technique. Same with any instrumentalist. He is very much a train, like he's taken training both in a probably in a classical setting as well. And just the way he plays, yeah, solid 9 out of 10. He's no Neil from Rush, but he yeah, solid. Adichie says, "Do you speak any other languages?" Yo hablo un poquito español. I lived in Spain for 5 years, but I was a child. I moved there when I was 4, back to the US when I was 9. So I spoke poquito español when I was there, and then most of my career has been in the hospitality industry, where a large portion of the hourly associates are speak Spanish. So I've gotten some practice. I can hear it more than I can speak it. Now that being said, in karate, I learned how to count to 10 in Japanese. And for some reason I'm blanking on how to do it, even though I just told you I could. Ichi san shi go rokuchi chakujo, I think. And then I learned the Greek alphabet in college. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, xi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau, upsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega. So that doesn't mean I speak the language, I just know how to do those things. But English primary language, Spanish like a very intermediate secondary. Another question that came through beforehand is, what video games are you playing right now? Great question. Usually I'm playing Call of Duty, to be honest with you. So if you guys do play Call of Duty, drop your handle down there. I'd love to link up and slay some lobbies, run some plunder, do some Warzone with any of you that also like to play. Actually, I'll give you my Xbox if any of you guys are on Xbox. That's my Xbox right there. Feel free to add me. It's the same on Call of Duty as well. On Promise of Oliver, which that has been my screen name for like 10 years before I had a son named Oliver. Kind of a weird story around that. So I've been playing mostly. I'm honestly getting burned out on Call of Duty though. Like the last Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 for me feels increasingly like they're just becoming more and more Fortnite with all the gimmicks and stuff, which is why I'm really excited for Black Ops 6. Stoked for Black Ops 6. Completely new direction for the franchise. Otherwise, they're going to go bankrupt, I think. So I'm excited about that. I am also playing a game on PC called Once Human. I'm going to see if I can pull up a screenshot of this. Once Human is the game. So this is the game Once Human. It is a very much you like fight these otherworldly beings that used to be people, right? This giant bus thing right here, I don't know if you can see it, has has hands coming out of it, so used to be human. but it very much detailed, right? Like you actually have to craft your own weapons, craft your own armor. You have to drink water, like drink a beverage every now and then. Otherwise, you become dehydrated. You have to eat. Otherwise, your belly goes empty. You have to sleep. Otherwise, your maximum health goes down. So if you like scavenging, building, creating type games, but there's also shooting, third person shooting, killing zombies and stuff. This is a fascinating game, and it's actually free. I paid for the battle pass, but it is free right now. It's called Once Human. Very cool game. There was another question that came through. Hold on a second. Hey Tech, if you get to Sweden, call in and might get to meet Flor Jansen and her husband. They're not going to make time for little old me. I'm this big. They're not going to do that. I'd be grateful, but I don't think they will. But hey, worth the effort. Only Perception, congrats on 10K, mate. Been watching all your Ren reacts ever since the first one. You have great music knowledge and commentary. Cheers. Thank you, Only Perception 777. I don't know if you heard, but I've got another Ren dropping later today. 7 cents. We're gonna do 7 cents today. Steve says the UK Pagan's Minds. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Pagan's Mind. Perfect. Okay, there was another question. I feel like languages. No, that was it. Okay, there was one more question that came through that was a really interesting one, and then we're going to get to the giveaway. We're coming down to the wire. We'll probably go a little bit, a few minutes over, but we're going to give away some cash. So make sure you stick around. You got to be here. You got to be here to know what to do. Okay. The last question that I received, and again, if you have any more, drop them down. This is a weird question. I don't even remember who submitted this. What's the worst thing Americans overspend on? This is a wild question. And this is an odd question because you're asking somebody who is very countercultural when it comes to debt and finances. People in the United States, and I don't know if it's the same in other countries at the moment, people in the United States, most of the people in the United States live off of borrowed money. Which means you basically borrowed money is borrowing from your future. You are indebted to somebody because Americans, most of the culture in America lives beyond their means, which means they spend more than they make. Now, there's a double-edged sword to this. A case can be made for wages. Wages kind of suck. And in some places, that's true. A case can be made for things being very expensive. That is 100% true. In our economy right now, inflation is so stinking high. I went grocery shopping with my wife the other day, and I hate going grocery shopping, but we only had one car because I need to change the battery on the other car, so I had to take everybody. We got the same shopping list. We pretty much get the same stuff. And I compared the receipts from like 2 years ago. Just in 2 years, the same items was like $150 more. We had 6 items in the cart, and my wife's like, all right, we're already at $150. I was like, we didn't get anything yet. What? Then I go back in my budget. And in my budget since 2020, our budget to feed a family of 4, because my son still breastfeeds, to feed a family of 4, we've had to increase our budget for groceries by 30% to get less stuff. So there's a case to be made there as well. Wages do not keep up with inflation over here. Now, I'm a big proponent that if you want to make more money, go make more money. Because there's no shortage of opportunity to go make more money. I'm also a big fan of investing in yourself to make yourself more attractive in the marketplace, which is what I've done. I have arthritis. I can't work with my hands. I can't do any manual labor to go work an extra gig. I have to invest in my mind. I grew up with a debilitating stutter that I've had to work to overcome because now my job for 15 years has been sales and talking to people all day long. So I've overcome that stutter. So I'm a big fan of, if you're not making enough money, go make more. At the same time, whatever you make, that's what you should be living in. if you spend more than you make, it's always going to be a diminishing return. So to answer the question, what's the worst thing Americans overspend on? It's everything. But I would say primarily it's probably cars. Cars are insane. Car debt is something I can never understand. I don't understand taking a loan out for $40,000 on something that only depreciates in value. Yet you owe more than $40,000 as time goes on, while you owe more while the vehicle becomes worth less. Car debt to me drives me freaking bonkers. I don't understand it. The cars that I've purchased in cash. I've saved the money. I've bought used vehicles. I have driven them till they died. So I would say cars. Cars is probably the one. Okay. There are no more questions. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get to the giveaway. You guys ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Here we go. Giveaways, you guys. So here's how you do this. Here's what we're giving away. We're giving away $50. $50. Might not sound like a lot. Somebody's going to want this $50. Amazon transcends all international boundaries. Anybody can get it. How do you get it? Well, here's what you do. Very simple. Join the Discord. And in the welcome and rules, put your name and location. That's it. If you're already in the Discord, skip to step 2. You've probably done this already. I'm going to ask you to do it again, because if you don't, I can't see who's entered. Now I'm going to give everybody, because not everybody is able to join us based on time, I'm going to announce a winner on August 3rd. So I'm going to give everybody the opportunity to join the Discord by August 3rd. And I believe that the link is in the chat somewhere. If you don't, I'll drop it again right here. If you don't see it in the chat, you can always go to the channel and you can join the Discord. That's all you got to do. And I'm gonna randomly pull a name, but this is what you have to do to enter. Join the Discord, and in the welcome and rules chat, just put your name and location. First name, don't matter, and where you're at. That's it. That's how you qualify. And on August 3rd, I'll announce the winner via community post and Discord, obviously, because you got to be in the Discord to play. So you're going to be in the Discord already. That's how you'll find out who won. And then I will get all your information and send you $50 to Amazon to buy me something nice. I'm joking. To buy yourself or your spouse or your significant other or your child something nice. You guys, this was fun. Again, thank you for wading your way through some of the technical difficulties we had getting started. We started 15 minutes late. My goal was to keep it at 90 minutes. We went a little bit over. I do apologize. I tried to have it timed out better. Thank you to everyone who has joined the channel and hung out with us today, live stream from all over the world. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who's watching this after the fact as well. And having fun with us as well. Obviously, you can't participate live and all the other things, but hopefully you could do that. Again, if you want to support the channel, you can do that. Buy me a coffee, Patreon, super chat as well. Greatly appreciate that. And I do want to say a special thank you to those of you who do support the channel. I think I tell you all the time, but I want to recognize you in front of everybody else here that I am so grateful that you guys have decided to give of your own resources to make this channel better. And I want to make sure that I'm doing everything that I can do to honor those dollars that you guys send in. So if I'm not doing that, please let me know or cancel your membership. I want to make sure that you're getting the most return for that. And look, to become a member, it's as little as $5 a month. It's a cup of, well, it's actually half a cup of coffee now in the US. A cup of coffee now is like $8. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for 10,000 subs. We're coming up on 12,000 soon. Don't forget to like this video, share it. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel as well, because we're going to be launching some new stuff now that I'm now that I'm kind of fleshing out how to do this a little bit better, my goal is to pump out more videos on a more consistent schedule. Now that I'm not having to spend a bunch of time in the editing room. So appreciate you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're the best community on the planet. Hopefully you guys like the new assets, the new logos, and all that stuff. All the new logos are going to be coming out soon. I wasn't able to capture the hair as well as I wanted to, but I tried to do my best. But all that's going to be all the new assets going forward. Again, if you are a monthly supporter, your name will be on every video going forward for the continuation of your efforts. And then if you're a one-time giver, you are also going to be recognized on a future video as well, plus all the perks that you get. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day wherever you are, and we'll see you on the next video.